Well, welcome back to another great Mayor's Hour. Jack, what a view.
Is this
I mean,
not
look at this.
spectacular?
Yeah.
Woo! It's unbelievable, and you have to think ahead. And we are at the St. Pete Times Forum, which is the home of the Tampa Bay Lightning, newly refurbished to the tune of $40 million. But you've got to look ahead to almost a year from now, 10 months from now, when this is going to be the backdrop for the Republican National Convention. And I can only imagine the networks clamoring, falling all over each other to get their candidates up here, out there with that in the backdrop.
You know, it's interesting because when you see this view, you realize what a great city this is. And, you know, how much we've grown, how much we've matured. This is a big part of it. I mean, Jeff Vinik, the new owner of the Lightning, put $40 million of his own money. We're standing here on the party deck of the St. Pete Times Forum. And what a great addition. This is the first time I've been up here, Jack, and this is amazing. This is really amazing.
It is, and talking, I haven't been able to come to a game yet because I've had other commitments, but people have been to the first games, and of course this is recorded early in the season. Let's see, we got the third home game coming up tomorrow night when we're recording this, but talking to people who've been out here, they say it is really unbelievable. And again, it's one of the new additions, but so many things have happened here. The seats are all changed. They're very comfortable with drink holders. The big pipe organ that I guess we're going to see later. And, you know, you look at it from the standpoint of the Republican National Convention, it's going to be a really special then. But the great thing is we got it forever.
Yeah, we sure do. And we're so lucky to have Jeff Vinik as the new owner of the Lightning. I mean, he has come in and made an instantaneous impact.
Yep.
And he did it with his own money. And so, you know, he's been a great addition to our community. I'm so happy he's here, and we look forward to a great relationship.
Beyond even the $40 million he's put in here, he's investing millions and millions in the community. They've come up with creative ways to give back to the community even during the games. They're focusing on the history of Tampa Bay during the games. They're doing so many things so differently, but all of it is Tampa-centric and Tampa Bay-centric and helping. And they're helping out in other areas too, in the homeless problem, things like that. It's a great bunch.
Well, we'll be right back in a little bit. We've got Todd Leiweke, the Chief Executive Officer of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Mr. Griggs, the Chief Operating Officer. They're going to tell us a little bit about what to expect from the new Lightning experience. You're not going to believe it. It is very, very exciting. We can't wait to be back. Stay with us. Jack, welcome back to the Mayor's Hour. We are standing here on the new party deck of our Tampa Bay Lightning at the St. Pete Times Forum. We are here with two of the architects, not the literal architects, but the brains and the passion behind this great building.
I like the brains and the passion behind
Well, at least the passion. At least the passion. We have with us today the Chief Executive Officer, Todd Leiweke, and the Chief Operating Officer, Steve Griggs. These are the guys who have been working tirelessly for the last year to get this franchise to where they want it and where our community deserves it to be. As we talked about earlier, Jack, we got great new ownership with Jeff Vinik. He has been such a blessing and addition to this community. And these are the two guys that actually make things happen for Mr. Vinik. So, guys, welcome to the Mayor's Hour.
Thank you.
We're excited, Jack. I mean, he's been wearing this. It's like his pajamas.
I'm sleeping
So Jack listed passion and brains and then quickly dropped brains off the list and just went with passion. So.
I'm a passion guy. Not much in the other area. You know, the thing that he talks about here with Jeff Vinik and you guys, and first of all, the fact that he put so many incredible people around him from the top all the way down. And then secondly, coming in here and doing something that's almost unheard of these days, and that is saying, we're going to make this place more fan-friendly, and I'm going to pay for it. And what a place this thing has turned into. It's really awesome. Talk about some of the things that have been done here to make it better, to make it more fan-friendly.
Well, he's one of those guys that initially doesn't look like much of a salesman, but Jeff Vinik's one of the great salesmen, in part because he has great conviction in what he believes in. And so he traveled all over North America and looked at, he was ultimately one to buy an NHL team. He's a lifelong fan. But he came to this beautiful community and said, this is where I'm going to make my home, and this is where I'm going to build this enterprise. And then those were the seeds of his vision, and he was able to recruit Steve Yzerman. He was able to recruit me, and we were able to recruit this great guy who was right up the road on running the new building in Orlando.
Yep.
And so part of the vision Jeff had was trying to create a fan experience here second to none, and it involved some investment, and he was willing to step up and write the check.
That's
And,
great.
yeah, and even beyond that, you know, with bringing in Yzerman and Guy Boucher, and it's amazing. I mean, we got 2 Hall of Famers working in here with Yzerman and Esposito at the same time. That's pretty exciting for hockey fans, to say the least.
Yeah, I think for Phil Esposito, it's really cool because he had a dream about 20 years ago. And in some ways, his dream was unfulfilled. The Stanley Cup was an amazing moment, but you know, I think he really feels like his dream's now getting fulfilled. And he's come back and he's playing a central role in the organization. And the first time I met him, there was a little intrepidation about, are these guys, what are they going to do with my dream?
Yeah.
And I think Phil now, I look forward to seeing him in the hall because he loves it. And I think, really admires what Jeff Finnick's done.
Well, tell us about the building. Tell us about where we're standing. Tell us about the additions to the facility for the fans that haven't been here yet. And we all hope that you come here quickly. Tell us what to expect.
Well, I mean, this is the 11,000 square foot outdoor party deck, and you know, when this building was first built, there really wasn't enough points of sale up here for our Upper Bowl folks, and so, you know, we came out here on an empty roof about a year ago and said, you know, this is a great spot. If you live in Florida, you should be outside having a beer before a hockey game, and so this became a perfect opportunity for us to build a great party area for our fans, but also create more points of sale for our Upper Bowl folks. So this has become, in 2 games, the signature place to come for our fans.
All right.
I've been at the Amway Center, and you were involved in that, which is the best in the NBA by a long shot. I mean, a lot of investment's gone into that over in Orlando, and this seems to be coming in line. I mean, the same way. You got a feeling that this might be the best in the NHL, if not already, or, you know, when you get all of this finished.
You know, I think when we thought about this, we said, look, this is a very unique place. And with all due respect, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, that's my hometown always. Tampa Bay is a beautiful place. We can look right over here and see manatees swimming down the channel. I mean, so we said about the building, how do we really make this feel Tampa Bay centric? So that if we brought somebody here, put a blindfold and brought them here and took the blindfold off, they'd always know where they were. How can you have a building in this climate and not have an outdoor deck? The artwork on the walls, the photography, the pictures, the huge Tampa Bay Lightning sign. And now I think people are going to come to our building and say, boy, Tampa Bay is a cool place. They've got a cool hockey team. They have a beautiful building. And the building really is representative of the community, not only the beauty of the community, but the values of the community.
I think we're going to be surprised too, but even the West Entry's got about a 7,000 square foot outdoor area down there where I think a lot of people are going to be at the bar areas down there too before they come up into the building. So we haven't even imagined what that's going to be yet.
And we need a beer after this project.
You keep inferring that hockey fans drink a lot of beer. Is there something to that? Is there a connection?
I think they go together real well.
Oh, yeah.
It always has.
Now, Jack and I are wearing new uniforms, right? Turn around, Jack.
Oh, yeah.
See, we are.
How about that?
Thank goodness we didn't misspell Buckhorn.
Yeah, that would not have been good. You
That
really
would've been
didn't need water in
embarrassing.
your building anyway, so it's like. Now tell us about the new material, the new uniforms, the point of sale, the season ticket holder advantages.
Well, I think if you walk in the building the last 2 nights, you're going to see a ton of these jerseys, and that's because, you know, we got
All with Buckhorn on the back.
all with Buckhorn number 1.
Well, there'll be demand for these after the show.
So, and you know, they all have STM on it, which means season ticket member, and so, you know, part of our plan moving forward was to make sure that our fans felt that they were getting true value, and they were coming to every game now with their jersey on, and there's a microchip in there that gives you 25% off at the concessions and 35% off at retail, and so, you know, there's value associated with being a season ticket member now.
You know,
That's a really cool deal.
Yes, yeah.
You know, and I mean, Jeff Vinnick allowed us to rethink the basic premise of what it means to be a season ticket holder. So we've actually started calling them season ticket members. But they'd come to the building and pay the same for a beer as a Detroit Red Wings fan or a Toronto Maple Leaf fan. something inherently unfair about that. So with a chip in the sleeve, now our season ticket holders standing 25% discount at the concessions, 35 at retail. Really cool.
You know, Bill Wickett got me tickets. I happened to be up in Boston. We were playing in the playoffs up there. Got me tickets to a game. Well, you can't believe the experience at TD Gardens, what used to be Boston Gardens, but everybody has on the hockey jersey. I mean, it's like they throw you out if you try to come in otherwise. And of course, the place is jammed and enthusiasm you wouldn't believe. But the brilliance you guys have shown that you came up with on this thing of putting the chip in here. That's why they will wear that jersey every time they come to the game. And ultimately, you hope that in a year or 2 years or 3 years that it's nothing but a huge sea of blue like it was gold and black back up there.
The fans have been really fantastic. And walking around the building, there's a lot new in the building, the lighting, the concourses, but the best part of the building are the fans. And last night and last couple of games, I mean, we had a little bit of a rough start. The fans didn't give up. And the fans, you know, I'd say there's two heroes in the story, Jeff Innick and the fans. And it really is cool. And there's great fans here.
Well, tell us about that. Tell us how season ticket is going, sales are going. I know you've increased the number of season ticket holders. You guys really, after a great season last year where we were all just cheering for you. I mean, we hung that banner off the building. That was a great time for a new mayor. I mean, I thought I'd be sporting a ring right about now.
Came close.
But we're going to get it next year. So tell us about the fan experience and what to expect.
Well, you know, we're closing in on 11,000 season tickets,
That's
which
great.
is the highest season ticket base for this organization, even coming off the Stanley Cup. So it just shows, you know, that the fans are really here and they're committed to this organization again. And, you know, we're excited because that's what we're here for. We're here every day for our fans, and they're at the top of the pyramid. And so everything that you see in game ops, everything you see from the service, we put every single part-time worker through a special guest services training for the last month. So it's all about the fans, and we got to give them the best experience possible, and that's what we're doing every day.
I know the seats, it's just remarkable. I know it's such a small thing, but that's the most important thing to the fan. What's it going to be like when you're sitting in the seats? And having sat in those seats before, to see the new setup, I mean, the seats are so much more comfortable, drink holders in the seats. Every seat in the place was changed out to the new one.
We talk a lot about Lightning, but you know, when this building was built, it was built
here.
Attract, not just to be a home of a hockey team, it was also to bring lots of events here. And I give Phil Esposito a lot of credit because his vision, you know, would the building have ever been built if the hockey team wouldn't have been here? And if the building weren't built, would the biggest event in the history of the city be coming this coming summer, the Republican National Convention? So we feel a big responsibility, not just for, you know, filling games up on, you know, in Lightning games and helping fill restaurants and bars and hotel rooms, but also creating events. And we've got this phenomenal event coming this spring, the NCAA Frozen Four. So the finals, the championship of men's hockey. And it's never been this far south. In fact, the farthest south city was St. Louis, and that doesn't feel real south. But those games are automatic sellouts, and we'll sell hundreds of thousands of room nights. It's really a cool thing. And so this experience is not only going to be great for fans who come to see Lightning hockey games, but for concerts and all sorts of other events.
Yeah, I want to bring up that Final Four, the Frozen Final Four. That's a remarkable catch, and again, because of this building and what was planned for this building, because, I mean, the farthest south you have college hockey teams, I think in Alabama.
Alabama's got one.
They don't even have them anywhere in the state of
So
Florida.
you'd be a tough guy in a trivia contest, because
yeah,
not many guys know that, all right? That's pretty good.
We've got the Final Four here. It's just remarkable.
Well, and then the RNC, and no matter what your political persuasion, this is a really important event for the city, and it really drove our construction sort of timeline, because it occurred to us pretty early on, man, we got to get this done, because they're coming in to take over this building, and we better have the building ready. So we had to make really big decisions in short time frames. We had to conceptualize, design, budget, schedule, and a lot of that is Jeff Innick. Because if you'd had a guy who had to be involved, felt from an ego standpoint, a need to be involved in every decision, so often we take him around the building and say, oh, that's a little different. Oh, I like it better. And he has just been so empowering and so awesome. He's everything I'd hoped he'd be, and he's certainly a great thing for our fans.
Well, we've got about a minute and a half left in this segment. We're going to go see some pretty cool stuff and meet the architect behind the actual team shortly. In the last 90 seconds, what would you like to tell a fan about the building to get them to come, to buy season ticket holders, season tickets about the team. I mean, this is...
Come on, he's in charge of sales. So take it away, big guy.
I think the experience has changed immensely, and so it's almost a new building. The change in the atmosphere in the building is so different than it was a year ago, as it relates to just the amenities and the experience that a fan is going to see, not only through game ops, but just throughout the concourses and through all the different entitlement areas that we have that are all built for the fans to have a better experience than they had in the past. Not that it was a bad experience, but now it's just so much more better. Yeah.
And I can also imagine, you're talking about the RNC, where we're standing right now. This is going to become one of those iconic shots throughout the week of the RNC. They're going to have to, I mean, every network is going to be trying to get the candidates right out here, and they're going to put that in the backdrop. This is kind of a rehearsal for it. She's our camera person doing
That's right.
Well, we're going to have 15,000 members of the media here for that event, and that's a chance to showcase the city. We had to make sure the building was ready, but, you know, we're excited. I mean, this is a great place to live. These are great fans, and the future's bright.
All right, we're going to take a break for a second. We've got some great video of the construction coming up. We'll be back with these two guys in just a little while. We've got a lot of stuff to show you about this building. You need to buy season tickets, come support the Lightning, and we'll see you in the St. Pete Times Forum. We'll see you in a bit. Steve Griggs, our host today, is taking us around, showing us some of the things that are here. He's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the improvements on the inside of the building. Jack, this is really cool.
Oh, it is.
This is really amazing in here. So start us up.
Well, you know, we're standing here right here on the Coors Light between the pipes, which is the new bar area that overlooks the ice and then the field. But it's all about the pipe organ here, which is on top of the bar, and it's a walker. There's 250 speakers tied to this pipe organ, and
250 speakers. I mean, that's a visceral experience.
When you guys hear it, it's loud and it's proud. And you know, this was Todd's baby, which is, you know, coming from St. Louis and having the old time pipe organ there, and same with Chicago and those big stadiums in the past, that it was part of the tradition of hockey. And
it was huge in New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago, all those. That you had to have the pipe organ if you're going to have a team.
Yeah, and so we have it here in Tampa. It brings some tradition to our market. And you know, I think it's one thing that the fans have really taken to, and they're really proud of what we have here.
And along with the organ, of course, the lighting up here, which ultimately is going to be used too. I know the national anthem, it lights up red, white, and blue, and I guess it lights up for a lot of other occasions. Well,
we want to see it go red a lot too. That's when we score goals. So it all lights up to red. But you know, it's just a signature piece of the building now with the big LED board up here, and you know, it's something that we want to bring more tradition and more brand to the building, and that was part of the thought process there.
One of the things everybody's been talking about and I haven't seen it, and it's just getting ready to start. And again, we're talking about this before the third home game, but is the way you're going to bring lightning onto the field, actual appearance of lightning coming across the field and everything.
Well, if you're going to be called the Lightning, you should have real lightning in your building. And so we have 2 Tesla coils that have been put in. We've tested them for the last couple of weeks, and they're ready to go off on Saturday night. So it's pretty impressive, and they shoot lightning about 25 feet each way off the coil. So it's actually going to be the world's largest lightning strike indoors. So we're pretty excited about that.
I've got some people I'd like to have stand very close to that. You think we
With a
could arrange it?
pacemaker?
So, I'll bet. But that's something they won't have anywhere, anything like it. I mean, that's the amazing thing, that digitally and electronically, this is probably going to be a showcase in the NHL, I'm guessing. I mean, I've been in a lot of the arenas doing the Storm games and things like that, and I've never seen anything that would quite match what you guys have put together here.
Yeah, well, the building is 15 years old now, and we wanted to really enhance it. And part of that is the digital signage. We have more digital signage coming in that'll be in here in the next couple of weeks. But when you talk about the enhancement of the game from not only a technology standpoint, but with the pipe organ and that, it was all about creating a better fan experience, and it's all coming to life with the Tesla coils and the pipe organ, and it's everything we dreamed about a year ago.
You know something, though, Jack? I think what is even more amazing about this whole transformation is what you're doing for the community as well, and how they're going to use this building and use Mr. Vinnick's resources to not only invest in the community, but also to showcase some of our community heroes. So I'm excited about that. I mean, I love the hockey part, but I love also what you're doing for the community as well. So tell us about it.
Well, the reason Jeff Vinnick is here is because he loves his community. Todd came here because he understood the commitment that Jeff wanted to have in the community giving back. And in the first period, we dim the lights and we showcase a community hero. And with Jeff and his family, they're going to give $50,000 to that community hero to put towards their cause that they're working on. And it's a special time during the game, and whether we win or lose, people go home feeling pretty good about the great things that are going on in this community and what these people are doing.
So let me make sure, Mr. Vinnick and his wife are going to give $50,000 to a community hero that they've identified, so that person can use that money to further what they're doing out in the community.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in their name, that money will go to whatever organization.
And we're doing it for the next 5 years, so it's $50,000 a game.
Every game.
So it's $2 million a year, and it speaks to what kind of owner Jeff Vinnick is. And Todd and I say it all the time out in the community. We're working for the very best owner in pro sports.
And other little things, and this is a minor thing I just happen to know about, but the Tampa Bay experience, the little vignettes that they're doing during the game, during the breaks, when they talk about Tampa Bay history or the history of this, or I know the other night there was one on hurricanes and just things that have happened around here. And then at the end, they always promote going to the Tampa Bay History Center because it's only a puck shot away, right across the road.
Well, the voiceovers are spectacular.
Oh, here we go. The voiceovers for these little vignettes happen to be that West Virginia redneck right next to me.
It's a hillbilly time.
If you don't understand it, need a translator, just let us know.
But I mean, just little things like that where, I mean, you again expand that Tampa Bay experience and connect with Tampa Bay. And I love that thing. And promoting the History Center, which is really great for the folks over there.
Like Todd said in the last segment, it's about this building becoming Tampa Bay. And when you walked into this building before, you didn't know where you were. Now, when you walk through the building, whether it's the suite level or the main concourses, you're going to know you're in the Lightning building, and you're going to know you're in Tampa Bay's building. And we've really worked with the History Museum to put up shots that people are going to walk by and really get a sense of what this place was like, not only 50 years ago, but throughout the last 50 years. And with the Stanley Cup being here, there's lots of great shots of the Stanley Cup in different places throughout Tampa Bay and St. Petersburg as well.
Well, it's amazing for me, having been here on my first tour of duty at City Hall when we got the franchise. I mean, I was the
Yep,
assistant to the
that's
mayor
right.
at the time. And having lived through the construction of this building and the deal it took to get the land, it is amazing. It's come full circle for me to see what started out with such promise, to have that promise fulfilled, and to see what you guys have done here, and how you've made this such a destination point, and how the city has grown with you, and how downtown has grown around you, and you know what a vital point you are, and how exciting the future is going to be. So it's, I don't know about you, but I'm excited.
Yeah, you talk about the past. It is hard to believe. If you had told fans, and we had a lot of hardcore hockey fans down here who had come from Boston and Chicago and Philadelphia and all these other cities, and we knew they were going to be NHL fans. They weren't going to be Lightning fans when you first start. It takes a while to build that. But if you had said that we might be looking at something like this with a team that has already won the Stanley Cup, when we started out at the Florida State Fairgrounds, that would have, you would have said, you're out of your mind. You're never going to have anything like what you're
Amazing
envisioning
that Phil
now.
got that done.
Oh, he
you
did.
know,
Oh, brother,
talking
that-
to the NHL, trying to get a hockey team in the fairgrounds there. I mean, he was quite the salesman.
Well,
Still
he
is.
was, you know, and I don't think the NHL even knew where Tampa was, let alone that we could support a hockey team. But I mean, Phil Esposito, and I'm so glad that he's part of your organization, and you and I see him around town a lot. I mean, what a great ambassador for hockey he is. I mean,
Yep.
he, you know, you put him in Boston or New York, and he's like an urban legend. I mean, people flock to Phil Esposito, and so to see this, and I know how proud he must be to see how far this building has come and this team has come. So.
And he's
Yeah, you-
re-energized.
yeah.
You know, one other kind of sidelight, again, I picked this up from doing these things about the moments in time, but we held the record for the biggest crowd for an NHL game for years and years and years until they started playing outdoor games over at the old Thunderdome. It was
Yeah.
called Thunderdome back then, when they had I guess it was a game between, well, Gretzky was in it. And,
Philadelphia and
LA?
and
Was it
and the
LA, I
Lightning in the
think?
playoff game.
Yeah,
That first
in the
playoff game.
playoff game.
Yeah.
That was the biggest crowd for a playoff game, and it was amazing that people were there. It was incredible. But
They weren't all wearing blue though, like us.
No, they certainly weren't.
No, I mean there was hockey fans here,
Yeah,
and now
that's all
we
that
got
matters.
now we got Lightning fans, and you know we're on that second, third generation of hockey fans, and you know they're true blue hockey fans, true blue Lightning fans.
Well, we will be right back. We're going to take a look at that organ that Steve talked about, and then we're going to meet the general manager of this team and then talk about the team. And so stick with us. And if you haven't bought your season ticket yet, go buy it.
What would you do if you were told you would be in a wheelchair the rest of your life? This young man was. At 2 years old, he was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy, a condition that progressively weakens the muscles. It would have been easy to quit. Instead, his spirit inspired him to help others. Now, 17, he is a spokesperson for spinal muscular dystrophy and Make-A-Wish, a founder of 2 nonprofits to repair books and read them to those in need. He's tirelessly touring elementary schools with his guide dog, and he teaches students about service animals for the disabled. And while selflessly devoting his heart and soul to so many others, he's maintained straight A's since kindergarten. This young man lives by a simple motto: ask not what I can get from everyone else, but instead, what can I give back? That is why Ben Carpenter is our Lightning Community Hero. Prior to the game, Jeff and Penny Vinnick presented the Lightning's first ever Community Hero Grant, a donation of $50,000 to Ben's designated charity, Junior Achievement.
And we are back with one big organ jack. Joining us today is the maestro of organing. I'm sure that's not a word, but
Probably not, but it's close.
But he's the guy that's going to set this place on fire when it comes game time. And Brad Trumbull is joining us today. He is one of the organ players here at the St. Pete Times Forum. And Brad, should we hook in and hold on?
Let's hold on. Are you ready?
I'm
Yep.
ready.
All right, here we
Let her
go.
rip.
Look out, look out.
Encore.
I'm ready to take the ice. You?
Ooh, I'm
Let's
ready
go,
to
let's
hit
go.
it. Boy, the feel, I mean, it makes you vibrate listening with
Unbelievable, isn't it?
250 speakers in
That
there.
low end.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course you got.
This is the world's largest toy.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Are the ones, are the old, I mean, I know this is a digital thing. It's not a genuine old pipe organ like the real ones back then in the days. It's so much better because it makes it sound that way, and yet you have so
It
much
does.
more.
And it's a lot faster to play. In the old one, you had to wait for the air to come through the pipe. So
Yeah.
it was really slow. You had to play slow. This is a lot faster.
Well, if you could turn the camera up here, behind this sign are the pipes, right?
all the speakers and stuff.
So all of that is the pipes that go to this digital organ.
Exactly. Yep.
And so how do you know what song you play at what time? Do you just
There-
watch the crowd, or is
Yeah,
it?
you got to watch the crowd. You got to have a game plan. You know about what to do, but you got to kind of feel it. You know, when there's a face off, you got to jump in and stuff.
And so you're going to learn "Hail to the Chiefs" next
I'm
time I
going to
come
learn
back?
it for you.
When the mayor comes, it's hail to the
That's
chief.
right.
But this building rocks. I mean, you could feel it. You could feel the vibrations in your feet. Just imagine, 18,000 fans.
And with those speakers, although we're standing right next to it, it's the same experience down at the other end because we
they're
were
also
broadcasting.
pumping it through the big speakers down there too. So
Yeah, we were broadcasting the other morning, and they tested it right before we went off the air, and it was rocking that place way down at the other end.
So one last question. Are you going to play for the Republican National Convention?
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a Republican. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
There you go, that works.
We just need to be good hosts. This is going to be a great experience. Well, Brad, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, man.
We're
Thanks,
excited,
Jack.
Appreciate it,
and
Brad.
this is such a great addition to the Lightning experience and the fan experience that just go out there and give them heck.
All right.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll be back with the General Manager, Steve Yzerman, to talk about the players. So we'll stick with us.
The Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Absolutely.
Yes.
Today we're at St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, a great community partner of ours. Steven Stamkos is here helping them celebrate Christmas in July. This is just an ongoing effort on behalf of Steven and his big return to Tampa. He is associated with the Kids Are Heroes program here at St. Joe's, so it was just most appropriate that today he come back and celebrate the kids, that he's going to be in the community at least another 5 years and a champion for them as well.
I'm fortunate to be in town on this particular day and take in the donations from the grateful people here of Tampa who've been coming by all day and dropping off toys for the kids, and got a chance to cool down a bit and come inside and take part in some arts and crafts with the kids. They were coloring some goalie masks and some Christmas themed things, and Santa Claus is here and the kids got to see him, and it's a real privilege for me to be here today and just see the smile on the kids' faces and then see their families enjoying themselves. So they go through a lot, and this is a special day for them.
We celebrate Christmas in July because in the Christmas season we get a lot of donations from the community because everyone's thinking about children at Christmas. But during the summertime, our toys are kind of in need of replacement because over the year they get cleaned very often to help with infection control for our kids. So we ask the community to help restock our playrooms with those items at that point. We love to have our VIPs from the community, Steven Stamkos, the Lightning, come out to help bring some fun to the hospital. The kids really enjoy to meet somebody special when they're here in the hospital. It's something that they don't expect. It kind of energizes them, and what is more important than having a child smile, and to have somebody special come in like Steven was a real nice treat for them.
Like I said, from day one when I first did my first event here, I had a blast, and it's all about the kids. And I've learned a lot about what they have to go through on a daily basis just to survive and get up every morning and put that smile on their face. That they're, really they're my heroes. So I can't wait to be partnership. This is the first one after the contract, and can't wait to spend another 5 years and do the tremendous events. Everyone that works here and volunteers here does an outstanding job, and can't thank them enough.
We are accepting toys and donations throughout the year, and you can go to stjosephschristmas.org, and then also on our website, stjosephschildren's.com, and you can find all kinds of information about how to give to us, whether in time or talent or treasure.
Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to you.
Welcome back to the Mayor's Hour. Jack, we're here with another great segment. This is the exciting part, because now we get to talk to the architect of the team. But not only the team, this guy's a legend in hockey.
Oh, yes. We are talking to a Hall of Famer here.
Yes.
And Steve Yzerman, who is the man who is in charge of bringing the next Stanley Cup to the arena here. And that's pretty daunting task, I'm thinking, these days.
It is. It's a difficult trophy to win. It's hard to win in any sport, in professional sports. But we believe if we take the right steps and go through the process properly, eventually we'll get there. And hopefully that is sooner than later, obviously.
So what attracted you to Tampa? I mean, you're the longest-serving captain, Detroit Red Wings.
Yes.
A Hall of Famer, a legend in hockey, and I don't use that word very often, but I think it fits in this case.
Oh, yes.
What was it that attracted you about coming here?
Well, one, when I retired from Detroit, spent 4 years in the front office, and even prior to retiring, I always had my eye on getting involved in management, building a team, building a Stanley Cup champion. And once I retired in Detroit, I spent 4 years in the front office there, and that reaffirmed that this is something I wanted to do. I got a call from Jeff Vinnick one day about the opportunity asking me to discuss the opportunity down here in Tampa. And with each discussion that we had, it was more intriguing to me. I think in taking the job, the number one reason in taking the job was the person I'm working for, and that's Jeff Vinnick and his family. And I felt with each conversation very comfortable. I liked what he was trying to do, what his expectations were, and so that's reason number one is I think we have stable, that's an understatement, stable ownership, very good ownership with high expectations but realistic goals. And then I looked at the organization, the players that they have, existing players in St. Louis, Le Cavalier, Hedman, Malone, Stamkos. That's a nice nucleus of players to start with and make us competitive. We've got a ways to go, things we need to do at all levels of whether it be here in Tampa with our minor league team in Norfolk, prospects in junior and college, but there's a lot of good things within the organization. So I just felt it was a good fit for me and an exciting opportunity, and it was too good an opportunity for me to pass on if I wanted to be a general manager in the league.
Did you think you were going to go the coaching route before you went the general manager route, or did you know that you always wanted to be on the management side of things?
For whatever reason, I've always had more of an inclination or a tendency to lean towards management. Although I've often been intrigued by coaching, but for me, I enjoy this side of it, building a team, putting together my scouting staff, coaching staffs, overseeing everything. I like the job, and again, being in Detroit with Ken Holland, the general manager there, and observing him and learning from him, I find the position very exciting. And it's a tremendous challenge, but it's something I really enjoy. So I've always, even back as a player, was more intrigued by what the managers were doing, how they were building their teams. And that goes in all, I follow all sports, how they handle situations, how they build their teams, pay attention to trades and how things work out and the logic behind them. So I've always been drawn more to management.
Yeah, you work in tandem with the coach. I mean, the coach tactically is going to get the guy that's, get the job done on the ice, but strategically, you're the guy responsible for putting together the right players, putting together the right personalities, and that kind of thing to meld into something that can be special, like the Lightning were last year.
Well, I guess my philosophy is pretty simple. You have coaching staffs, scouting staffs, both pro and amateur. We have a team down in Norfolk. I believe in hiring the best possible person for every position, giving them the responsibility and surrounding them with qualified people, letting them do their job. You know, as a general manager, I can't coach the team. You know, as much as I'm up there, I think things should be done a certain way. I've hired Guy Boucher to run the team, to coach the team. Obviously, we share a similar vision and similar ideals, but he's got to be the one who makes the coaching decisions. I'll make the decisions the manager has to make. Jeff Vinnick will make the decisions that the owner has to make. Todd Leiweke, as CEO, will do that. So we all are trying to find the best possible people to do the job that we've hired them to do, and then give them the resources and everything they need to do it, and then kind of take my hands off and just oversee.
Well, Jack wanted me to ask this question.
Oh.
Do you think that we look like two silly old men in our jerseys, or is there room on the Lightning for the two of us to play?
Well, a couple of weeks of conditioning, and I think you guys have a chance.
A couple of years of conditioning.
Based on a couple of our outings lately, you're moving up our depth chart.
I would think.
You must be really bad off.
Well, you know, that was the amazing thing about last year was it had all the excitement of the Stanley Cup year because it was so much beyond expectations. Nobody picked the Lightning to go down to the final 3 teams into the 7th game of the conference championship as we did, and even thrilling right down to the end of the game. That was the kind of excitement that was just unfathomable before.
Obviously, a great season for us for a lot of reasons. One, the development of our younger players in Stamkos and Hedman, all those players who are playing their first playoff action. And for our veterans, Vinny and Marty, who were here at Cabina, that won the Stanley Cup here, to get back into the postseason and playing important games, it really revitalizes them somewhat. And then for our organization as a whole to excite the fan base, to excite the community, to follow the team, it was a great year in that. Now, having said that, our goal at the start of last year was we wanted to make the playoffs. Let's get in the playoffs. We feel we have a good enough team to compete for a playoff spot. It's a difficult thing to do. That's our goal for this year. When we get there, if we're fortunate enough that things go well and we get in the playoffs, we'll figure out a way to win round 1. And if we do that, we'll figure out a way to win round 2. But that's a long way off. Again, it's difficult, and there's a perception that it's easy to make the playoffs in the National Hockey League. It's not. It's a lot of things have to go well. 8 teams in each conference make it. And the difference between finishing in the top 8 and finishing 13th or 14th out of the playoffs is 3 or 4 wins a year. That's all it is. So it's a fine line. So it's important that we win games early, get off to a good start. Every point is important. So again, our goal is to get into the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Talk to us about the team. Vinny Lecavier is my neighbor, so I see him walking through the neighborhood with the baby and the dog, and I love Marty St. Louis. I mean, that guy's just got a heart as big as Texas. I mean, he just, you love to see that little guy out there on the field or on the ice just competing. He just never quits. So is the team healthy? I mean, what's how are the veterans mixing with the younger folks?
Psychologically, I think we're really healthy. The one thing that really impressed me about last year's team, we have made some changes this year, but how close-knit they were, unselfish, everything was about the team and how much they enjoyed coming to the rink every day, playing and practicing and working together, and it showed in their play. We were marveled at the end of games, you could see it in their faces that how much they enjoyed seeing their teammates successful. And it starts with the leadership group of the team in the locker room. And you mentioned both Vinny and Marty, and I start with Marty. He's an incredible athlete. He trains hard. He really keeps himself in top shape. He just looks like he can just go forever out there. He's in such good shape.
That's
much like you.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. We're going to keep this guy around for a while. Yeah.
So, and then both he and Vinny, they love playing in Tampa. They love to live here. They love to play here. They're proud of their organization, and they want it to do well. And that's something I'm pleased about in getting to know them and coming here as a manager, that they really have pride in their organization and they want to be successful, and they're good examples for our younger players.
That's the great thing, the way they can teach these young guys and hopefully instill in them the kind of character and the kind of skills really that they have and how to work through adversity, because that was the thing about last year. We had these swoons during the year, and you'd look and you get all excited and think, hey, we're on our way to the playoffs, and all of a sudden we lose a couple of OT games, and then all of a sudden we come back, and then we were down again, and then the ups and downs of last season were incredible.
Yep.
But there we were.
That's the way I think is for every team. Even the Stanley Cup champions go through. If you look back on their season, it just wasn't a parade right to the Stanley Cup Finals and to the trophy. There's ups and downs throughout the course of the season. Injuries have a big effect on your daily success or how you're winning and losing at present. Also, scheduling is really difficult. You're playing back-to-back games. We start with a 5-game road trip early in the season, opening and playing in all these teams' home openers. It's a tough way to start the season. Toronto started 5 in a row at home, and I think they were 5-0 in those games. So, it's scheduling. There's a lot of things that go into it, and you learn the more you're in the league. Why it's important to have veteran players that have been through it is they've seen it all. They've been through it. They don't overreact. The team goes through periods where they don't win. Players go through periods where they don't have a lot of energy, where they're not playing particularly well. You stick with the process, and eventually you come out of it, and you just keep plugging along. And so it's important to have veteran guys that have strong character, that set an example. One, they help you get through the season. They lead the way, but also they're teaching your younger players who come in. Right now we have Brett Conley on our team, a 19-year-old player, his first-year pro. He needs people to look to learn how to act, how to be a professional, to train off the ice, to just everything. He's a kid. He needs veteran guys around to show him the way, and that's why it's so important to have not only good players, but good people in your locker room. They'll teach these young guys, and then 10 years from now, those young guys will be teaching the next group of young players.
Steve, we've got about 2 minutes left. How do you like the Bay Area? I mean, you enjoying it? The family enjoying it?
Very much so. I have a wife and 3 daughters. My daughters are still going to school in Michigan, but we have a home here in South Tampa.
Good.
They love coming down. Myself, I live very close to the rink here. I can be back and forth in 5 minutes. I'm not fighting traffic. I've really enjoyed living here and getting out. Whether you live if you're working in hockey, whether you live in Tampa or Detroit or Winnipeg, we spend all our time in hockey rinks, so I haven't had as much of a chance to enjoy the warm weather and whatnot, but as far as the hockey atmosphere, I found it fantastic. We really enjoy it here.
That's great.
And are you finding that the Tampa Bay area is more and more embracing it here and becoming more in tune with what's happening with the Tampa Bay Lightning?
I believe so. I think some obvious things that stand out to me. There's more media attention on the team. We get out and around town. You start to see more Lightning jerseys, more ball caps. Particularly last year's playoffs, where I think we got a lot of the former fans that had moved on to other things came back and embraced the team again. It's going to take us a while to really to get the team where we want it to be, but also to grow in the community, and that'll take some time. But both Jeff and Todd are as you know, are really committed to that. We want to be a good business, a good organization that the community's proud of, but because we're successful, but also because we're good people, and they want to be partners with us both as fans and in all aspects of running this business.
Well, we appreciate you taking time. I know it's hockey season, you're busy, and the fact that you came out here to do this with Jack and I means a lot to us, and we're pulling for you. We're your biggest fans, and Jack's going to wear his jersey everywhere he goes. I may have to take mine off because I got to do mayor stuff.
Right.
But you got to win that Stanley Cup while I'm the mayor, so I can be sporting one of those rings.
All right. Well, we're going to do our best, and like I said, it's a tough thing to do, but that is our goal. And if we do things step by step correctly, we'll get there eventually.
That's great.
Like I said, hopefully sooner than later. You're not planning on going anywhere, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
not
right.
for a little while. Hopefully, I'm capable of screwing it up.
Right.
But thanks for joining us. We're going to go to some video. Steve Yzerman, one of the architects of this great Tampa team. Thank you for joining us. We're looking forward to a great season. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, you know what? We're in Orlando today. Last week we had a camp in Brandon, and you know what? We've always wanted to come over to RDV. It's a great facility here in Orlando, and you know what? We've got about 60, 65 kids signed up this week here in Orlando. Obviously, it's our first year here, so we're excited to be over here. And, our fan base, a lot of people, from the beginning, back in '92 to today, there's a lot of people that are, Lightning fans that live in this area. I think, you know what, we want to grow the game of hockey all over Florida. And, you know, Orlando's a huge market for us. I mean, most of the people in Florida come to the Lightning games. They're Vinny LeCavier, Marty St. Louis, Steven Stamkos fans. So there's a lot of people here since the days when I played that are big-time fans.
Well, Jack, another great show. I'm excited. I'm ready to lace on my skates and go on out there and fall on my butt and make another fool out of myself. But, you know, the Lightning are going to have a great season, Jack. And, you know, having Steve Yzerman here and seeing this great building, what an asset for this community, both Steve and the team as well as this building. And you ready? Ready to go suit it up?
Yeah, I'm give it a shot here. I don't think my shoes will make it on the ice, but what the heck? Yeah, the building, what they've done to this building to make it one of the best fan experiences in the entire league. And Bill Wickett with the organization was just telling me how this is going to be set up for the Republican National Convention. I mean, with the main stage right over there. We're standing where one of the networks will be broadcasting from, and they've got it all set up. And that's the other great thing about all of the changes they've made. What a terrific place this is going to be for the RNC and for everybody in America to take a look at Tampa Bay and the city of Tampa.
I couldn't be more excited, and you know, it energizes the Riverwalk, it energizes the entire Channel Side area. It's a great draw not only for hockey but for the events that take place, the concerts that are here.
Oh yeah, so many ways this is going to enhance the community. I got to bring up something that's happened since the last time we got together. Because I know it was a priority of yours coming into office, and that is you have ended panhandling in the city of Tampa, except for the Sunday thing. Kind of a little compromise there, but...
yeah, we did, Jack. We finally, council finally approved an ordinance that I could live with, and I signed it today, that effective November 1st, 6 days out of the week, panhandling will be banned. Nobody will occupy a median anymore. And we're going to get this city back on track, and you know, the newspaper vendors will sell on Sundays, but as we know it and what we've been putting up with for the last 2 or 3 years, that's over. It's long overdue, and it's over.
Yeah, it's a quality of life issue, and it's so great to see that finally happen. And I know you're working with a committee of people who are trying to do something to help the homeless and to help bring that issue to the table too. So.
Well, we are, and you know what's even nicer about that is Todd Leiweke, who was, when he was in Seattle, he was head of the United Way. He was a volunteer chair, and their issue was homelessness. And so not only is he doing all of this, but he is also weighing in on the homeless issue and helping us to spearhead getting the business community involved in solving that problem, which we all know we have to do.
Oh yeah, but it's just, and again, here you are with the Tampa Bay Lightning organization, again, contributing to the community.
Well,
great.
From number 7 and number 1, go buy your season tickets.
Or we stand side by side.
Side by side. Here we are.
17 or 71?
I'm not sure. I wasn't very good at math. But Jack, thank you. And to all of you, thank you for joining us again. Go Lightning, and we'll see you next month.